More than 1 million Americans went to sleep last night in a vehicle. Not a
You
shelter.
guys are wondering why I started living in my car? When I was
For 60 seconds. I'm currently homeless and living in my car.
So I am homeless
I'm in the Target parking lot right now.
Hey, I'm homeless. I live in my car, and I'm going to show you how I get ready for bed.
I've been living in my car for over 70 days now, and I'm in a pickle. I ran out of food.
You know, I won't lie to you, this is all very new to me.
After being homeless, living in my car for 5 years because of the out-of-control rent prices and the cost.
So y'all, this is my bed. This is what I sleep in.
More than 1 million Americans went to sleep last night in a vehicle. Not a shelter, not a friend's couch. A car. Parked on a side street, a church lot, or behind a 24-hour store, engine off, windows covered, trying to make sure nobody noticed. And here is the thing that makes this different from what most people assume. Many of them have jobs. Some have kids in school. Others are retired after decades of work. They don't look like the image we have of homelessness. And that is exactly why this crisis keeps growing, because the people caught inside it look just like everyone else. Today, we're going to walk through exactly what's happening, who it's happening to, and why the systems that were supposed to stop this have failed so completely. Let's start with the number the federal government doesn't talk about much. Every year, the Department of Housing and Urban Development releases a homeless count, a single-night snapshot meant to represent the full scale of the problem. But here is what that count actually measures: people in shelters and people visibly sleeping on streets. It does not count the family in the minivan parked 2 blocks from the elementary school. It does not count the man sleeping in his truck outside the warehouse where he works the early shift. It does not count anyone who has decided, deliberately, to stay invisible. And that invisibility is not an accident. Families living in vehicles rotate locations every few nights to avoid being noticed. They choose quieter residential streets. They keep curtains across the windows. They leave before dawn. They do everything possible to look like they belong, because the alternative is a fine, a tow, or something worse. Researchers believe the true number of Americans sleeping in vehicles on any given night is dramatically higher than what official data shows. In California alone, vehicle dwellers make up close to 40% of the unsheltered population in certain areas. School districts across the country are reporting record numbers of students classified as homeless under federal law, and most of them are not in shelters. They are in cars with their parents. This is what the official count misses. And what it misses shapes every policy decision that follows. Now here is the part most people get wrong about this crisis. They assume it's about unemployment, about people who fell completely out of the economy. The data tells a very different story. One of the fastest growing groups living in vehicles is employed, full-time employed. People who wake up in a car, drive to work, put in 8 hours and drive back to a parking lot to sleep. Researchers have a name for them: the working homeless. And the reason they exist is not hard to understand, even if the implications are uncomfortable. Wage growth over the past decade has been modest. Rent prices in cities across the country have jumped 20 to 40% in just a few years. That gap between what workers earn and what landlords charge has become wide enough that having a full-time job no longer guarantees a place to live. Run the numbers yourself. Someone earning $15 an hour, 40 hours a week brings home roughly $31,000 a year before taxes. A one-bedroom apartment in most American cities now costs $1,500 to $2,000 per month. That's $18,000 to $24,000 a year in rent alone, before groceries, before gas, before anything goes wrong. And landlords don't just look at income, they require proof that a tenant earns 3 times the monthly rent. A worker bringing home $2,400 a month cannot qualify for an apartment listed at $900. Not because they're bad with money, because the math simply doesn't work. So they go to work. And they sleep in their vehicle. Some park near the job site. Some pay for a gym membership, not to work out but to shower before their shift. Some have been doing this for months, some much longer. This is what it looks like when wages and housing costs drift so far apart that having a job no longer means having a home. But here is the part of this story that is hardest to sit with. It involves children. More than 1 million students in the United States are classified as homeless under federal law in a single school year. That number has been climbing for years. A significant portion of those kids are not in shelters. They are sleeping in vehicles with their families. Think about what that morning actually looks like. A 9-year-old wakes up in the back seat of a sedan. No kitchen, no bathroom. Her mom drives to the nearest gas station so she can brush her teeth and wash her face before school. Then, she walks through those front doors trying to look like every other kid in the hallway. That night, she does her homework in the parking lot of a 24-hour store because that's where the Wi-Fi reaches. She can't sleep well because a car isn't built for sleeping. She's exhausted, she's anxious, and she is terrified that someone will find out because that is the thing she fears more than almost anything else. Research on childhood housing instability is clear. Chronic instability is tied to lower academic performance, long-term emotional health challenges, and life outcomes that can follow a child well into adulthood, long after the vehicle is gone. And yet these parents park near the school, specifically so their kids can keep attending. They're doing everything they can, holding things together from inside a parking lot. That determination is real, and it doesn't make the situation any less serious. If this is hitting close to home for you, literally or not, drop where you're from in the comments. I'm genuinely curious which cities people are watching this from. So how does a family actually end up there? And how quickly can it happen? Most people assume it's a slow slide. Something you'd see coming. Something you'd have time to prepare for. Most people are wrong. For a lot of families, the drop from a stable home to sleeping in a vehicle takes less than a month. Here's how it typically unfolds. A family of 4 in Phoenix, 2 working adults, 2 kids, gets a written notice that rent is going up $400 a month starting next lease term. They can't absorb it. They spend 3 weeks looking for something else in their price range. In their area, there's essentially nothing. They fall 1 month behind. The landlord files for eviction. Court costs get added to what they owe. They can't afford a lawyer. The process moves faster than they expected, because these processes almost always move faster than people expect. 6 weeks after that notice arrived, they're sleeping in their SUV in a church parking lot, figuring out how to get the kids to school Monday morning. This isn't an edge case. Eviction researchers at Princeton's Eviction Lab have documented millions of eviction filings across the country every single year, and the financial gap that triggers them is often surprisingly small. One missed payment, a few $100s in fees, a process that moves fast for people who can't afford representation. But here's what makes it worse. An eviction on your record doesn't just mean you lost your current home, it means most landlords won't rent to you again. Even a filing, not a completed eviction, just a filing, is enough for most tenant screening systems to automatically reject an application. The family that might have gotten back on their feet, given a little time, finds itself locked out of the rental market entirely. The car becomes the only option left. The speed is what makes it devastating. There's rarely time to form a plan. The window between financial trouble and sleeping in a vehicle is short, and the road back out is long. Now here's something that surprises most people when they hear it. Living in a vehicle is not cheaper than renting a home. For a lot of families, it actually costs more. Researchers call this the poverty penalty. The way that having fewer resources makes nearly everything more expensive. Vehicle living is one of the clearest examples of that in American life. Without a kitchen, families eat fast food, prepared meals, convenience store food. Feeding a family of 4 that way can easily run $60 to $100 a day, several times more than cooking at home would cost. Over a month, that gap alone can exceed what a modest apartment would have cost in some cities. Fuel becomes a survival cost. In summer heat or winter cold, the engine runs for hours just to keep the temperature inside livable. That can add $200 to $400 a month, on top of normal driving. Belongings that don't fit in the car go into a storage unit. $80 to $150 a month. Showers mean a gym membership or a truck stop fee. Laundry means a laundromat. None of this is optional. All of it costs money that could have gone toward a deposit. The Federal Reserve has found that a large portion of American households can't cover an unexpected $400 to $500 expense without borrowing. For families living in vehicles, every expense is expected, recurring, and unavoidable. And there's nothing left at the end of the month to build toward getting back inside. Being unhoused makes it more expensive to live. More expensive means harder to save. Harder to save means the trap closes a little tighter every month. So what actually built this trap? Because it didn't appear overnight. Over the past decade, rents have risen far faster than incomes in cities across the country. The National Low-Income Housing Coalition has documented something that deserves more attention than it usually gets. There is not a single state in America where a full-time minimum wage worker can afford.
I'm in the Target parking lot right now. I'm currently eating some buckwheat that I soaked overnight, and I added grapes and a little bit of cinnamon. It's like overnight oats, but not. Oats are a bit more creamy and milky, and buckwheat tastes like the earth, but it has hella anti-cancer properties. I personally love when things taste like the earth and not processed. I know I'm like the minority there, but I love this type of food. As you can see, it was a hair wash day today, which means I need to rinse the shower off of my hair. Otherwise it gets so frizzy and it looks like I stuck my finger into an electrical socket. So let's go ahead and do that. My jug of water. Oh, that is so cold. I refill my glass jugs at the water fill stations and grocery stores. And this water is so much cleaner than the shower water. Now I can put some coconut oil in it. And just let it air dry.
Please stay for 60 seconds. I'm currently homeless and living in my car. I've been living in my car for about 4 months, and I am back in a position where I don't even have enough money in my bank account to get gas. I would greatly appreciate anyone that would support me or donate. Anything helps. I'll put all of my tipping handles on the screen. I can't do Uber or DoorDash right now just because of safety issues with my car and because I literally don't have any space for groceries or orders within my car. I don't have any space in my trunk or in my back seat or in the passenger seat. So I'm kind of just stuck in this predicament of trying to get a job, but also barely hanging on. So again, I would greatly appreciate anyone that sends anything. And yeah, I love you guys and thank you so much. I also have books and music for sale, as well as a tip jar on my website, jacobgreen.store. I'll put this on the screen as well. But the thing with that is I can't pay myself out or receive any money from any sort of sales there because I'm homeless, and to open up any sort of bank account, you need proof of residence. So if anyone has any sort of ideas or knowledge about how to get around that, please, please, please let me know. I've been struggling with this for weeks. And I want to be able to, you know, run a successful business and sell these products that I feel can help a lot of people. But I can't, you know, receive any of the money because I don't have a proof of residence because I live in my car. So yeah, the tipping handles that I put on the screen will work just fine, but if those get capped or ran out, then I do have a website where there's things for sale. But I'm still in the process of trying to open up a bank account, but I keep running into the same problem. So yeah, I love you guys so much, and thank you for watching. Thank you for interacting with the video, and thank you for just being here and supporting me.
Hey, I'm homeless. I live in my car, and I'm going to show you how I get ready for bed when it's cold outside. I think it's supposed to dip down into like the teens tonight, like 19 degrees or something like that. So first order of business is to warm this car up before I get all snug as a bug in my bed. So right now I have the car running with the heater going, and I'll do that for about 10 to 15 minutes. And I put my privacy curtains up on my front windows. This is what they look like. I don't know if you can see up close, but basically they have little clips that clip in here, and then I tie up here in the middle. And here's what my front windshield cover looks like. It's just one of these little doohickeys, and I always put my pillow up here in the front with me while I'm heating up my car so it gets nice and warm, because I hate sleeping on an ice cold pillow. And I put my back window covers on. I have to get out of the car and do that. They're these little like screen type ones. I guess they're like, I don't know, they're breathable, and they just slide over the glass. Here's a better idea of what they look like. They just slide on here. Like so, like that. So it's all warm and toasty now, so I'm gonna hop in the back. Ooh, yay! Now I lock my car so nobody can get me. And now I just wrap up in my Magellan low temp sleeping bag. Actually, I use it as a blanket and cover myself and kind of tuck it under. And even though it's going to be frigid, I'm going to be super cozy and comfortable. It's a process, but it's worth it.
You know, I won't lie to you, this is all very new to me. I mean, I've been homeless plenty of times, off and on since the age of 16, but it's just different now that I'm an adult, and you know, I don't have any friends, I don't have any family, I don't have anybody, right? So I have no support systems whatsoever. There's a healthcare crisis here in Nova Scotia, so they can't help me, or anyone for that matter. If you think Canada has great healthcare, you've been misinformed. We have terrible, terrible healthcare that you have to wait a very long time in order to get an appointment. And a lot of people die or get much worse before that appointment. So, yeah, I could go on all day about this.
I've been living in my car for over 70 days now, and I'm in a pickle. I ran out of food. I don't have any gas, so I'm kind of stranded in a parking lot. I've been here for around 4 days now, and I'm a little stressed, but I'm still making it work somehow. I'm trying everything in my character to just not go on the side of the road and beg for money, because I don't know, just something deep down in me is telling me that's not the way to do it. And then the hunger starts to kick in, and your tummy's just rumbling, and you're just like, man, you start to get really desperate. I'm fucking desperate to get food. I was like, man, I can see why people freaking go to stores and steal. But I don't steal. When I stole as a kid, I did steal when I was a kid. I got caught, and I was freaking scared, man. I was fucking scared. I never did it again after that. Sorry, Mom, I know you're gonna see this message. But I'm an artist, and I'm very freaking creative. So I was like, man, I gotta find a creative way for me to actually get some food, because I need some meat. I was eating like bananas and bread for a while because it was super cheap. Did you know a single banana at Target is 25 cents? And then like I got a loaf of bread for like $1.49, which was great. But now it's all gone. So my creative solution was like, okay, there's restaurants around me right now, And I know that restaurants typically throw away some food at the end of the day. And I know that there's also the app Too Good To Go, where they pretty much sell the leftovers that restaurants have, which kind of sucks because like I don't have the money to actually pay for Too Good To Go. But I saw a buffet when I was walking the other day, and I was like, you know what, maybe I'll try out this buffet. I walked up to the buffet around 6:30, and I was like, hey, I'm curious what you guys do with the leftovers. And the lady at the desk was like, sometimes we have some person like throw out the trash or do a little bit of side work. And I was like, okay, cool. And she's like, you want me to ask the manager? I was like, yeah. So she got the manager, and the manager came up, and I started talking to the manager for a little bit, and she said, come back at 9:30.
I'll take out trash, I'll sweep, whatever. 9:30? Thank you.
That was 3 hours later. So I went back to my car, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm excited. And then I go back after 3 hours later to the buffet place, and it turns out that the lady just gave the food to somebody else. She didn't even care about me. And I was like, man, dude, the world is freaking rough. I was like, honestly, I was bawling because like food, like survive, like it's fucking crazy. Anyways, I was like, I need to really do something about this. And so I started walking back to my car, and then I saw Little Caesars across the street. While in the Little Caesars, I asked the coworkers, what do you guys do with the food? The lady said, we mark it up and we just keep it in the back. And I was like, is there anything I could do to possibly get some of that food? Like any side work, I can sweep, I can help out or anything? And she's like, no. So I was like, okay, fuck. What the hell is going on with this? Like, what do people do with the leftover food? Do you guys just really just throw it away? Like, that's messed up. Anyways, I was losing hope at that moment. I was feeling very distraught, and I was just like, man, I really fucking hate it here. Anyways, I started walking back to my car, and then last ditch of hope, I saw an Applebee's, I think that's how you say it now. Anyways, I saw an Applebee's, and I was just like, I'll give this a shot. I walk in there, I'm in the lobby, I see that there's silverware and menus. I was like, man, maybe I can offer to roll some silverware or wipe down the menus. I used to serve in the past, so I'm like, I know this stuff, I'm used to it. And they're about to close. So I asked for the manager, I talked to the manager, and she's like, let me go see if I have any leftovers. I was like, okay, sweet. She comes back with six chicken tendies and some fries with some ranch. And she said, I didn't even have to do any side work. I was so blessed. I was so happy. I was so thankful. I was so grateful. Like, it gave me some faith in humanity that something good could possibly happen. Now, as for today, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. So I guess stick along, stay around for the journey. I didn't think I was going to actually even post any of this stuff because it's just like, why would somebody post them being in a miserable situation? I don't fucking know. Do you guys find value in this? So the moral of the story is, if you get rejected, just respect it and move on. That place or person, situation was just not meant for you, and you were just off onto something better that is aligned for you. If you'd like to support this crazy journey, go check out the...
If you guys are wondering why I started living in my car, when I was really young, I started going through some foster homes. I was taken out of my biological home for some very bad abuse. And I went through several foster homes over and over and over again. And each one of them, I never had my own permanent place to live. And so when I finally did get my own apartment, 2020 hit, and I could no longer afford living there. Living in New Jersey has such a high rate for apartments to live. A $2,000 apartment is just fit for a studio, and minimum wage is $15. It's not livable. So I just decided that living in my car was the best way to go. I'm Zee Desire, and I want to thank you, Patrick, for having me on New Jersey Outdoors Adventures. I want to show you guys how I live in my car from day to day. So the first thing I want to show you guys is how I get in my car and I start my day. So at first, when I'm up and ready, I want to do my makeup and brush my teeth. So for my makeup, I grab this mirror out the side of the door and I just stick it right in here. If I need extra light, I also have a light right here that I could just turn around and use. And then for my makeup, I have a little makeup bag I got for $1 from Goodwill that I could just zip down and put on my makeup. To brush my teeth, I always try to keep it simple. I keep everything in this middle drawer, and I keep my mouthwash on the side. I keep my toothbrush in here, and I use it, and I have my water that I rinse my toothbrush off with. Stick it back in when I'm done, and tuck it away. So this is probably what you guys are wondering. I have a cat in the car with me. How do I take care of my cat in such a small car? I have a litter box. I have some Smell Good baking soda. And as you all know what this is, the toilet. So when I pull up to a car wash, it's a good area to have some privacy with this door here. And I just lift this up and I take my scoop and I scoop it. And it's the best way to do it if you want privacy. This toilet I could show on the other side, but I put it in the middle and I use that inside the vehicle when I need to. It comes in handy when you have IBS. All my shoes are kept down here. It's a good way to keep all storage away from the front, out of the way, out of sight.
Okay, so I am homeless and I'm living a double life. Let me kind of explain that. So I have a home and I live in it 3 days a week. My lease ends at the end of June, so I will be homeless full time. But right now, 4 days out of the week, I work at another place about an hour away from my home and I live in my car. It's a good tester run for me because I will be doing it full time. So if any of you have tips, tricks, and it's not like the glamorous like van life with heaters and showers and toilets. It is a car. I live in a car. I will be living in this car until it dies on me. But I'm trying to get out of debt. So I'm working 2 full-time jobs. One with the homeless. So I have been working with the homeless population for over 6 years. Have never really understood homelessness until now, and even now my homelessness is glamorous to them. But I've never done this before and I'm quite curious, like if any of you have lived in a car, what are your tips, your tricks, all of that fun stuff, because I will be doing it full time and I'm very excited to do it. I will make my money and then get a place eventually, but I have some goals and bills that I really want to pay off first. And with today's economy, it just doesn't seem like it's possible at this moment for me to do both. So this is what I'll be doing. I will continue to do things, update things if it's necessary, if this is even a thing for other people. But yeah, I'm curious to know.
I have to work today. Another day, another dollar. I think I have 8 clients today. So let's go. Yes, I'm wearing the same shirt for the past 3 days. Shut up. I don't want to hear a peep about it. Okay, let's get out of the trunk. I'm so tired. I'm out. See how easy it is to get out of the trunk. It's honestly not that big of a deal. A lot of you are making it a big deal when it's not. Boop. My name is Kodak, but you know that already. Okay, we're moving to the front, you guys. We're moving to the front. And there we go. That was easy. Fuck, I forgot my keys. I hate myself. Hold on. This is gonna be a hassle. Ow! Okay, I got it. I got my keys. Okay, perfect. Let's go. Okay, I just got out of the shower. Sunscreen. Okay, hands. my hardcore floor. Yes, these are my real nails. Let's take off my towel. You guys, my manager told me that I can wear any color scrubs, which is so exciting because in the beauty industry, you're only allowed to wear black scrubs. But I'm so excited. I'm gonna buy hot pink scrubs and maybe like light purple, lilac. So if any of y'all know where I can get affordable scrubs, I would be greatly appreciated. You guys, I'm currently getting gas. How much do you think it's gonna cost me?
And the total is $40. Great. I love that. Dr. Pepper. Perfect. I'm also gonna grab a pizza, and this is my breakfast for today.
Made it to work. Let's go ahead and turn on the laser. Okay, and then I'm just waiting for the laser to warm up. It's gonna take about 30 minutes to warm up. Barbicide.
After being homeless, living in my car for 5 years because of the out-of-control rent prices and the cost of living crisis that we're experiencing in America right now, me and my best friend now live in a long-term hotel, and this is perfect because you can stay as long or short as you want. All the utilities are included. You don't have to make 3 times the rent. You don't have to have perfect credit, and they don't care if you have an eviction on your record. And we have made the place kind of our own, adding little touches here and there. And so far, we are absolutely loving this. And I think this is a great alternative. Is it perfect? No, but I think it is a great option. And we're making it work. And we're excited for what is to come. And I just want to say to all of you, thank you so much for watching. And if you'd like to support our channel, you can by buying a cup of coffee. The link is in bio. Thanks for watching. Have a great one, everybody.